Hi guys, Coach Cyril here, Strong Together Fitness in Chelsea. And I just wanted to go over something that we call the elements of training progress. I've given this lecture numerous times in the past. We have great experience working with many people and athletes and just everyday people and helping them to achieve healthier, happier, and more fulfilling lives. And like clockwork, at around, if someone's been with us long enough, 16 to 24 months, almost like clockwork, they start hitting plateaus in their results and training, okay? And this is completely normal. You know, otherwise we'd all be bench pressing 4,000 pounds and running 1 minute miles, you know? When you first start out, you're less conditioned, you haven't done the right types of training, you're very excited, and you get great results really quickly in our program. But at some point, that's going to plateau. That's just the way it goes. And when that happens, there are certain specific things that you can tweak, that you can make better to break through those plateaus, and it's always the same thing. And that's what we call our elements of training progress. I didn't make this up. This has been around for as long as training's been around, and it's fact, okay? So it's like a pyramid. The first at the bottom, you probably can't read my great handwriting, but I'm gonna go through this with you, okay? It's consistency, and these are listed from the bottom. It's the base, which is the most important, to the top, which is the least important. And you'll notice that at the top, this says volume. Unfortunately, that's the number one thing that everyone who hits a plateau for the first time or multiple times thinks they need to add volume. And for 99.9% of the members and athletes, it is absolutely not the thing that you need to do. What do I mean by volume? I mean by increasing the amount of time that you're training, increasing the amount of workouts that you do. We often get that member that hits a plateau and they're like, Coach, I'm not losing any more weight, I'm not getting any better, I'm not getting any PRs, and should I start doing something at home? Should I start running in the morning? Should I do 2-a-days? And for most people, it's absolutely the last thing that you should do, because there's a lot of other more important things, and it's probably the easiest thing that you can do, but of course, as we all know, the easiest isn't necessarily, or if ever, the best solution. So, first and foremost, you need to be consistent. If you're not doing the work, if you're not doing at least 3 workouts a week, if you're not consistent in your nutrition, then adding more workouts isn't going to do anything for you except make you overtrained and injured, okay? In a lot of these pyramids, you'll see that a lot of times they'll have nutrition as the most important thing, and it is super important, and I struggled with whether to put it on top of consistency, but the reason I did is because you need to be consistent in your nutrition, not just your workouts, but your nutrition as well. Otherwise, it doesn't matter if I eat 1 great meal a week and I'm eating clean 1 meal a week if the rest of the meals are shit, okay? I'm not being consistent, okay? So you need to do your workouts consistently, come and do the work. Good days, bad days. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. That's life, that's training. But you need to just keep coming. And you don't need to do it much more than 3 times a week if you're doing all these other things, okay? So number 1, consistency. Number 2, nutrition. It doesn't matter what kind of workouts I'm doing. It doesn't matter how consistent I am if my nutrition isn't good. What you put in your body is going to directly correlate to the results you get in the gym and outside of the gym. Okay, so it's super important, and I guarantee most of you are going to say, oh, I eat fine, I don't eat that bad. If you send me your food log for a week, I guarantee I can show you 12 things that you can do better to get the results that you want to get. We all think we eat clean and eat well, most of us, and the fact of the matter is we really don't. So we have nutrition programs for this. We can help you with that if you want to go there, okay? The third thing is your recovery. You need to get the proper rest. You know, a lot of our members are having kids now. I get it. The kids are up. You're not getting the rest you're used to. In the past, your progress in your fitness is going to suffer because of that. It's just life. That's the way it is. There's not much you can do about that. Control what you can control. How often you come, what you put in your mouth, okay? If you can get that extra sleep, 8 hours a day, 7 hours a day, great. But you got to be honest with yourself. Are you getting enough recovery between workouts and every day to come in and give your full effort every time you come in, at least 3 times a week? And if you're not, your progress and your results are going to suffer. And at the end of the day, we're all about results, okay? If we don't get the results for you, you get depressed, you quit, you want to go find the next shining object out there and think that's going to do it for you. And the least important thing is actually the actual stuff you're doing in the workout. Yeah, it's important, but it's really the least important thing. If you do decent things, good things, that are really basic, which we do here, you do them consistently, you're on with your nutrition, you're getting enough rest, you're going to get results. And we want you to get results, because if you don't, you're going to leave, and when you leave, I get super sad, and I hate being sad, okay? So, consistency, nutrition, recovery, and then there's mobility, flexibility. Are you spending enough time to make sure you can get full range of motion? Can you get below parallel on your squats on every one? Is your ankle mobility good? Are you flexible enough? Are you spending the time and doing the things that we show you in your first session that you need to be doing to have that mobility? Why is mobility important? Number one, so you don't get injured, because if you get injured, you can't do the consistency, you can't do the intensity, your training and your results are going to suffer, okay? Number two, you have to have full range of motion to do the movements properly, to use the maximum weight that you can use to generate the amount of power you need to generate to do more work. The more work you can do, the more intense you can be, the more results you're going to get. It's all about the amount of work we can do over time to generate the intensity and the power we need to get the results we need. If you're not getting the right nutrition, you're not recovering properly, you don't have the range of motion to do a movement fully, like a push-up, like a squat, like overhead things, you're not going to be able to generate the intensity that you need in the workout to get the results you need. And the next most important thing is intensity. You can come work out 6 times a week, 7 times a week. You can eat the right stuff. You can make sure you're getting the right recovery. But if you're not pushing your mind and your body in at least 3 workout sessions a week, minimum 2 to 3, you don't need to crush yourself every single workout. But if you only work out 2 or 3 times a week, if you only come here 3 times a week, you need to be pushing yourself in those 3 workouts and then resting the rest of the time, not going out for 6-mile runs the next day or thing. You need to recover, okay? If you're pushing yourself sufficiently, that's how you get better. That's how you get the results. You have to move into that uncomfortable zone multiple times a week. Not every time, for sure. Not every workout. You don't need to redline it every workout. You shouldn't redline it every workout. But minimum 2, 3 times a week, you should be pushing that comfort level, whatever that means for you. We all have different comfort levels. Some of us have higher comfort levels or lower comfort levels than others. But you need to be pushing through that 2 to 3 times a week in your workouts. If you're not, if you're just kind of going through the motions, are you squatting below parallel in all of those reps, including the warm-up? You know, every day I see, people doing their air squats in the warm-up with bent arms, with a rounded back, not going below parallel. Guess what? And don't tell me that I'm just warming up, okay? I don't like that answer. You play like you practice. Every rep, and I'm guilty of it, we're all guilty of it, okay? But I know that if I'm cheating on my reps, including in the warm-up, I'm not going to get the results that I want to get. But I only have myself to blame for that, not the coaches, not the programming. Me, I get it. Okay, be honest with yourself. Are you doing what our coaches are telling you to do? Are you getting below parallel? Are you needing several minutes after every workout, 3 times a week, not every workout, but 3 times a week, that you can barely get up off the floor? Okay, I see people, they're done with their workout, it's like they rode the elliptical for 20 minutes. Our workouts are meant to be more intense than that, okay? And if you've been here a while, you need to be pushing that. Of course, form always comes first. If you're newer, it's fine. These are the workouts, the warm-up's intense enough for you, okay? But if you've been here a while and you're hitting those plateaus and, you're hunky-dory after every workout and, you did a little sweat maybe, but you're not like, holy crap, I need 5 minutes to get my breath again, you're not going to get the results that you deserve. If you're fine with the results you're getting and that's the way you do it and that's your intensity level, great. But don't be dissatisfied with your results if you're not huffing and puffing big time at the end of 2 to 3 workouts per week. You have to push the intensity level. Are you still using the same weight? Have you gone up in weight on the weight-bearing movements that we do? Do you push yourself? Obviously, we don't want you to get injured, but our coaches are experts at knowing if you're using too much or not enough, okay? Are you pushing that 2 to 3 times a week? You have to do that to get the results. If you're not, you're going to hit plateaus a lot sooner and you're going to stay there, okay? And then as I mentioned, lastly, very last, is volume. If you're being consistent, you're good with your nutrition, you're getting enough recovery to where you can, and your flexibility, working on your mobility to where you can be seriously intense in 3 workouts a week, and that's working for you, and you're not feeling injured or burnt out, and you want to do more, that's when you add volume, not before any of this stuff. So if you can't answer absolutely on these 5 things that you're doing the best you can, then you shouldn't be adding volume. Now that doesn't mean, if you want to get better at handstand push-ups or pull-ups or whatever, that you're working on that skill outside of a class. That's not what I mean here. We can all work on various skills without taxing our body, our physiological system, our neuroendocrine system that much more where we're going to overtrain. If working on a skill with lightweight, with drills, that's fine. That's not adding extra volume. But adding extra wads, wearing a weight vest in a workout when you can't even, run 400 meters at the fastest in under 2 minutes, but you're going to wear a weight vest to run 400 meters, that doesn't make any sense. Get good at it without the weight vest, and then when you need to add the weight vest because it's easy for you, then you add the weight vest, okay? But adding more workouts, unless you're doing all this stuff, doesn't make any sense. I hope that's clear. And lastly, number 1, if you're feeling like you're hitting plateaus, talk to a coach. Sit down. We're happy to sit down with you. It doesn't cost you anything extra to sit down and kind of figure out which one of these you can improve upon. Okay? If you want to be a competitive athlete, that's a whole different ballgame. Okay? We have a competitor program for that. We can get you into that. You can do that. We can show you stuff to do on your own. Don't quit, but have an honest conversation with yourself as to whether you're doing everything you can in all of these areas. If you're not, you need to focus on them, on the ones you're not, or you need to be satisfied with your performance. It's as simple as that. Thanks.